Okay, so if your business isn't on Pinterest, you really are missing out. And the reason for this is that 422 million people are active monthly on Pinterest. So that's not just the people who have an account, it's the people who are actively on Pinterest performing searches. And they are performing over 2 billion searches per month. So it is a really great place to get found. So today I'm going to talk to you about what you need to know to succeed with Pinterest. And this is like, you literally have to sometimes dive into Pinterest courses to get this. And I'm going to share some tips with you that you really do need to do. So I think we've got about 6 tips I'm going to go through. So if you've got any questions, do jump in and ask questions in the comments, and I will answer those as we go along. Okay, so the first one, I had a question about creating boards. So what is it? What do you do when your board disappears? So Pinterest have been messing around with the interface since last August. I think I started the first round of Crystal Clear conversions for Pinterest, my group program. And it just seemed to change. The interface completely changed then. And they've tweaked it a little bit, but it seems like it's stuck with this. I don't know if they're going to change it back or not. But basically, when you go onto your Pinterest profile, usually you would have just seen like all your different boards and your picture, things like that. And at the moment, it's still got like a picture on it, but all it shows is all the pins that you have created, and they're just like all the way along. They're not pins you've saved, they're just the ones that you've actually personally created. So underneath your photo, it'll have something like monthly unique viewers, and then just under that, it will have 2 little tabs. One is created and one is saved. And what you need to do to go to your boards now is to click on to save, and that will take you to what used to be your regular profile. So I hope that helps with that. If you're still struggling, do let me know. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little bit of time to talk to you about a strategic profile setup. I won't go into full details because I do have a masterclass that helps with this, and my group program does go into this in depth. But if you are just trying to use Pinterest and just throw up pins and photos just willy-nilly, you haven't got a real strategy about it, and it's not gonna work for you basically. Pinterest is a search engine, and that means that you need to use Pinterest SEO, so Pinterest search engine optimization, and keywords. It's really important that you fill out your profile in detail with these keywords, and not just keyword stuff in them, because that's really bad as well. You don't want a keyword stuff. So you do need to actually make sure you utilize these on 10 different places and on your profile. And if you want to learn more about that, my Pinterest SEO masterclass does give all those 10 different places and examples of how you do that. So I will hop on to the next thing. This one is, I had a message in my inbox actually, I think it was last week, but this is something I see constantly. And so you're going to see me write a video about this a lot because so many people just can't get their head around it. So I had a message in my inbox saying that someone had done some training with me, and that since Christmas 2020, so we're filming this in January 2021, that their stats, their Pinterest stats had like dramatically dropped. And firstly, Pinterest stats will literally go up and down. So that time scale is not a huge amount of time scale to really tell something. So you do need to keep an eye on it. Like a week or whatever in Pinterest time is so different to like in the likes of Instagram or Facebook time. It's just nothing similar. It will naturally go peaks and troughs. Also will change seasonally as well. But so I actually asked this lady a little bit more, and this is a question I generally ask people. Well, what are your link clicks doing? Or show me a picture of your analytics. And the reason I ask this is because most people They aren't actually referring to link clicks. So link clicks is the number of clicks to your website from Pinterest. So let's say if someone actually clicked 10 times, that would count as like 10 link clicks. But so there's like different things with like page views and like visitors. So you need to just make sure you're familiar with different terms. But the problem is with these monthly viewers on the Pinterest profile. So on the desktop, sometimes it shows as monthly unique viewers, sometimes it shows as viewers, sorry, monthly viewers. On the app, it's always monthly viewers. Now, this can differ from country to country. People do see slightly different things and people get things differently fast. But generally speaking, this can literally go from naught or to 10 million plus. And once you get to 10 million plus, it will just stop at 10 million plus, even if you've got like 60 million. But what people aren't understanding is that this figure, it's not your own traffic. Like, unless you are only ever pinning your own content, it's not your own traffic. It actually counts for everything that you're pinning. So if you pinned like a Christmas decoration at Christmas from someone else, maybe a smoothie recipe pin, a healthy eating pin for January, weight loss, something like that. If you pinned anything else, it's going to count for that. And so sometimes the things that you are pinning, so you are saving to your boards, are really popular. You pin them from someone really popular, so they're already getting tons of traffic. Or maybe they have even paid to promote them. So they've paid for a Pinterest ad, so a Pinterest advertisement. And so that's why they're getting like extra traffic. Now, let's just say, for example, that it was a Pinterest ad and they ran it for 30 days and that was it. They didn't run it again. Well, the traffic is going to suddenly drop on that after the 30 days because they've stopped paying for it. And so that's going to drop drastically. Now, if you have pinned something like that, that's going to dramatically impact on your pins as well. Not your pins, your monthly impressions for everything. Now, not your own if you delve into analytics, but on your Pinterest profile, it's going to dramatically impact on yours as well. So, one of the things you need to be aware about, and this is going to tie into the thing that I had when I asked that lady, she sent me a screenshot. And most people will do this. They will send a screenshot of like the mobile and the analytics on there. Now, they don't detail on the mobile. You can't break it down. As far as I'm aware, like the UK can't do it at the moment. It might be that other countries can, but as far as I'm aware, you cannot break it down. So, firstly, you need to be looking on a desktop at your analytics. Secondly, you need to make sure you have a business account, because if you don't have a business account, and you pin in business content, you're actually breaking Pinterest terms and conditions and you can get shut down. So just be aware of that. Then what you need to do is you need to be looking in your Pinterest analytics. And then this is the thing, like you need to be really wary about other people and they're advertising Pinterest services that they actually know what they're talking about, because a lot of people will just show you like the link clicks or the impressions, or it used to be people would show you the graph with the monthly viewers or monthly unique viewers, and basically it's pile rubbish because it doesn't mean anything unless you are looking at your own content. So the way you need to do this is you need to change it on the side, the left-hand side of the Pinterest analytics. There is a little thing for all, and there's a little toggle you can change it to for claimed accounts, and that will come up as your own domain. So you do need to connect to your analytics for that, but it will basically show all your pins then rather than everyone else's. So you do need to check. And see, the problem is people aren't doing that, and it's made worse by Pinterest managers and Pinterest VAs actually showing this. And it's just, I could go on and have a rant about this. I think there might be a rant in the group about this already. But basically, sometimes people give up thinking Pinterest isn't working. And it's not that it isn't working, it's just that they don't know how to read the analytics properly. So that's a big major thing that you do need to be aware of. So you do need to use the desktop and you do need to go in and read the analytics properly. Something I teach, if you want to go into analytics in detail, I do have like a whole module on it in Crystal Clear Conversions with Pinterest. Okay, so any questions you've got, just drop them in the comments and I will answer them. I don't see any at the moment, so we will go on to the next one. I'm just going to take a drink of my drink. Okay, so the third point I wanted to tell you about that leads on to vanity metrics. So, I mean, you'll see this all over social media. I've got X amount of Instagram followers. You know, I've got 5,000 friends on Facebook. Vanity metrics sometimes don't mean anything. I have clients that come to me, purchase from me, and they've never liked anything of mine. They've never commented on anything of mine. You need to really focus on actual real statistics like link clicks rather than vanity metrics. So one of the vanity metrics, we've just talked about monthly viewers, which is definitely a vanity metric on Pinterest, but another one of them is followers. And Pinterest isn't like Instagram, although they've started adding things that are similar to Instagram in a fashion, it's not Instagram. So your followers on Pinterest are totally different in terms of on the likes of Instagram. So it's really important that you actually have more engaged followers on Pinterest than unengaged followers. Unengaged followers will literally hurt your Pinterest account. And the reason for this is Pinterest are looking to see if your content is valuable. And by that, I mean that it's getting people saving your pin to their boards and it's getting people clicking on the pin to go to your website. So if people aren't actually doing that, then it's not valuable. They don't see it as valuable. And so you won't be able to rank as high and you won't be getting like the following. So I won't go into huge amounts of detail, but you just need to be aware that, you know, you don't want to do like follow for follow or anything like that on Pinterest. That will really affect you negatively. Okay. So the next one, number 4. And thankfully, I don't see this quite as much now. And there seem to be less people teaching it. But a couple of years ago, this was like really, really bad in terms of being taught in like courses and ebooks. It's not like a great strategy. And I'm going to talk to you about this. But used to see people, and I do hear about it still occasionally, thankfully not as often, but people are spending literally so much time on Pinterest, sitting there and pinning or scheduling like 100 to 300 pins a day. Now, I don't know what else they did with their life because I couldn't sit there and do that. And literally, like, I'd be there for hours. It's too much. You don't need to do anywhere near that amount of pins. If you do that, you're going to end up getting your account suspended eventually for spamming because Pinterest will see that as spamming. So there isn't a set number. I get asked this a lot, like what sort of number do I need to pin? And I do give guidelines in my signature group program, Crystal Clear Conversions with Pinterest, but there isn't an exact, I can't give you like pin 10 pins or pin 50 pins or pin like a certain number. I will say you probably need to be pinning less than 30 pins if you want to go with like the tailwind guidance. Obviously every account though is different. So the accounts I manage, we don't have like a set number. We'll pin like a certain number on this one, the same one on that one. We'll pin this amount on this one, this amount on this one, this amount on this one, this amount on this one. Because for each different account, it works differently. And it's about getting a strategy that works for your account best. So there is no one size fits all. And if someone tries to tell you that, it's rubbish. Different niches as well see different things. So the main point from that is you literally do not need to be sitting on Pinterest every day, all day, pinning, and I do recommend Tailwind as a scheduler if you want to use an approved Pinterest scheduler. There are a few, but Tailwind is my favorite just because it has so many different things. We'll do another live on that. I actually been planning to write a Tailwind blog post, so do look up for that. Okay, that leads me on to number 5. So number 5, pinning the same pins over and over and over again month after month. No, please don't do this. It's a big no-no. It used to be a major strategy, like up to about 2019, somewhere even into 2020. Pinterest changed the algorithm a number of times in 2020. And so now it's become really important. They don't want the same pin. They don't want stale content for their users. They want it to be really user friendly. They want the pinner to come and have a great experience on Pinterest and come back. So they don't want stale content on the platform, basically. A lot of bloggers use this strategy because it worked at the time. It did work years ago, but strategies, you know, have to change with the algorithm. So Pinterest didn't like it. So now if you do that, you can get your account suspended for spamming. Sometimes you can get it back, not all the time. So imagine if you put in a ton of work on that account and then they just say you can't have back at all. That has happened. I do have, like, you know, a number of contacts with other Pinterest agencies, other Pinterest strategists, and I do see it happening. It's obviously not good. Thankfully, it has never happened in terms of that for my company, but that is because I'm really strict with the strategies that I teach and the strategies that I use in my business, because it's just so important. You don't want to be getting suspended for spamming on Pinterest. So that's a big no-no. So you do need to have a Pinterest strategy that is really relevant and really up to date. And even like what I taught in the last round of the group program, it won't be exactly the same what I'm teaching for 2021 because Pinterest changes on a regular basis. This is one of the reasons I don't have my own SAP Pinterest course, because it would need to be updated multiple times a year. And that would be the same with whether, you know, you're marketing on Facebook or you're marketing on Instagram. That's not just up to Pinterest. So don't worry thinking, oh my gosh, Pinterest is just a scary thing that I'm going to have to constantly keep up with algorithm changes. It's going to be the same for any platform. So don't let that put you off using Pinterest at all. And if you're here following me, I'm going to tell you about those changes anyway, that you'll find out first here in the group. Okay, so the last one I want to talk about, and then we can definitely open up for some questions, but I haven't seen any questions, so I think you're all here with me still. But yeah, if you've got any questions, just drop them into the comments and we'll have some space for the time for them at the end. So the last one is throwing money on Pinterest ads, so promoted pins, before you've mastered organic Pinterest marketing. And this is something I've had questions about. People ask me, can you review my ad? Like, what's wrong with it? Why isn't it really working? And the reason is because they've just literally put up a pin, throw money at it. And yes, you can pay for traffic on Pinterest or Pinterest ads, but there's not any point in wasting your money. It's exactly the same as like Facebook ads. If you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know how to use the keywords and the SEO, if you don't know what works, you are wasting your time. Pinterest is absolutely amazing for organic traffic. So what my suggestion is, if you're brand new to Pinterest, then you need to master organic Pinterest marketing before you progress to Pinterest ads. And this will just basically stop you wasting your money. And the reason is, when you're actually doing a Pinterest ad, it's still taking into account all the things that you have got on your pin and in your pin description. So it's, you know, you need to have a strategy for ads. There's no point in just throwing them up and not working. So Nisha says, I ran an ad, got crazy traffic, but it died there. Yeah, it's like, you can get the traffic, but traffic's great. But if you're not converting it, there's no point. This is why the group program, it's not just a Pinterest course. It literally teaches from what to do with Pinterest to get in the traffic, how to get the traffic, and then how to convert the traffic. And I'm not a sales expert by any means, so I actually bring experts into that. So we've got 6 confirmed experts for the next intake, which is on the 25th of January. So if you do want to know more about that, do let me know. Okay, let's run to the questions. If you got any questions, do drop them in the comments and I will answer those. So Natalie says, does using a scheduler such as Tailwind not affect the Pinterest algorithms and visibility of the pins negatively? So I'll answer that one first and then I'll answer your second one. If you're using an approved scheduler, it's supposed to be fine. I can't tell you about Facebook or anything like that because I'm not a Facebook expert, but it has been confirmed by Pinterest and Tailwind that it is fine for Pinterest to use Tailwind. There are other schedules. I think Later is an approved scheduler. I never use that. I personally like Tailwind for a number of reasons. So I can't like talk about Later or any other schedulers, but if you're using Tailwind, which is an approved scheduler, no, they've actually confirmed that it doesn't affect like Pinterest algorithms negatively and visibility negatively. So that is a safe one to use. So Natalie says, is it better to upload pins directly if you can? So when you're using Tailwind, no, it doesn't matter. You can do both. Now, you can generally test to see if it makes a difference for you, but probably what's going to make more of a difference is the time of day that you're actually uploading it or like, say for me, I have a large American audience, but I'm asleep sometimes when I want to put up my pins. So for me, it's actually better if I schedule for a specific time on Tailwind. Now, it really does depend on who your audience is. So, like, if you wanted to be online and do it yourself, if you wanted to save money, you can definitely do that without using the likes of Tailwind as a scheduler. But if you want to use Tailwind to schedule at a specific time, you can do. There are talks in groups about whether some people have said that they feel like that it's better when they pin manually on Pinterest. I have run tests and for me it's much the same. So you will hear that there's a lot of hearsay in Pinterest groups all the time. And I don't just test on my account. I've obviously got multiple clients' accounts to be able to work on. But yeah, you will hear different stories in the Pinterest world. Some people are really anti-schedulers and some people absolutely love them. So you will hear different things and you will hear a lot of hearsay as well. But from my personal experience, I do not find that it's better to upload directly. If you're looking to save money though, obviously there is a cost to Tailwind every month, or you can pay annually for a discount. If you do want an affiliate link for that, I do have an affiliate link which will get you $15 in a discount. Sometimes it's increased, but I think regularly it's $15. And you can test it out for yourself, but basically, yeah, for me, it doesn't really notice any difference. So it's more around trying to find out what works for your account as well, though. Again, not every account is a one size fits all. And it could be that these people have only tested for a month. They haven't tested for like a period of years. So you will find like a lot of people saying, oh, Pinterest doesn't work or Tailwind doesn't work. No, it's not that. It's their strategy that doesn't work. And when things aren't working, they just spat their dummy out instead of going and testing different things to try and get a new strategy, is what I find. Blatantly, like a blatant, honest answer. Okay, so if you've got any more questions, do drop them in the comments. So I'll just take a drink, I'll answer the next one. Okay, Nisha says, I have an online jewelry business through Spotify. And like Natalie, I see that it is adding pics as I upload new jewelry. So I was wondering the same thing about it being negative. Okay, so what you don't want to do is literally upload like 200 pins all in one go. You would want to space them out. So yes, if you uploaded like 200 pins all in one go, it is going to be like a negative thing to do. So in that respect, I would definitely recommend using something like Tailwind to schedule them out rather than just manually putting them all up in one go. Okay. I'm just going to chat to you about the challenge. If you've got any more, drop them in. Otherwise, we'll be ending this live. Okay, so next week on Tuesday, which is Tuesday the 19th of January, we have a 3-day Pinterest challenge, which is going to be super exciting. So even if you've used Pinterest before, you're still going to learn things from this. It's going to be all about looking at how to really target your ideal audience, whether that's clients, maybe you're an online coach, or, you know, if you have something like a jewelry business and you do more product based, we're going to look at really targeting your ideal audience and then learning how you can actually master that in terms of Pinterest. So how you can go from traffic to sales. Because there really is, like, you know, you can get all the traffic in the wild, but if you're not offering something that your target audience wants, then in terms of like the content that's speaking to them and the keywords on Pinterest, then it's really not going to work. So do join me in the challenge, 3-day challenge, right here in the Facebook group. Okay, so let's have a little bit look again. Okay, so Natalie says, how many Pinterest accounts can you run off one Tailwind account? If you're a social media marketer with multiple clients, do you have to buy separate accounts for each client and factor that into the retainer fee? Also, is Tailwind just for Pinterest only, or does it work as a scheduler for other social media platforms too? Okay, so a little bit of a long one there. Okay, Tailwind, you can't run separate accounts. You need a separate account for each client. You shouldn't be actually charging them a retainer for that. You generally train Pinterest managers, but yeah, you should factor that in. They should be paying that, because otherwise, if they ever decide to leave you, they don't have access to their Tailwind analytics. So it's really important that you actually have them do that themselves. You can use Tailwind also for Instagram. As I said, I'm literally a Pinterest specialist, so I don't use Pinterest for Instagram. So I literally can't answer any questions on that. I literally help people get Pinterest traffic from Pinterest into their businesses. So I don't use any other schedulers. I'm not a general social media manager. I've never been. I've always specialized in Pinterest. Okay, let me just check if there are any more. And do definitely do sign up for the challenge if you haven't already.